What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming back at you with another Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a little while. Where is that? Let me get this out of the way here. There we go. That was a little bit in the way, but I need that light. So there we go. Makes things look a little bit better. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. I know. I wanted to come back to you guys because, I know it's been a little bit of time since I come back to you, but the technology acts like I haven't done it before. It's crazy. But I was having issues, so I'm back. Hope everybody's well. Want to come to you guys because kind of almost recap what happened during the tournament and then kind of explain to you what will things look like in the off season. So I'll do a little bit of NBA stuff. Because I like to talk NBA. I love the game. We'll do a little bit of that. But I want to really update you on the transfer portal. Ladies and gentlemen, this transfer portal is off the chain. It has been so active. And the fact that we have over 1,000 players that are changing schools in one off season, because this is the one time that the NCAA has given a waiver, a free waiver. You can transfer one time without having to sit out. And so a lot of players are taking advantage of this. And I kind of wanted to give you some names, talk about some players that are moving around, leaving. We'll talk about Chet Holmgren, the number one high school player in the country. He just chose Gonzaga. That's a big deal. We'll get into all of that. Meredith Evans was good. Jay Lee, 725. Steve Herr, thanks for jumping on. Stacy Goodson, how you doing, Stacy? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. Ryan Kelsey, what do you think about Kofi's decision? I'll get to that, Ryan. Terry Jarvis Halberstadt. Thank you, Terry. Good to see you on here. Ryan Kelsey also asked about Adam Miller. So let's get into it from let's go Illinois, then we'll go Big Ten, then we'll go national. Okay. So Illinois, a really poor decision in my opinion. Mary Gertzmeyer, how you doing? A very poor decision in my opinion. Think about this. I'm gonna start with Adam Miller, Ace Wolf first. Okay. That's his nickname for Adam Miller, the young guard that just completed his freshman year at Illinois. His nickname is Ace Wolf. So if you hear me say Ace Wolf, I'm referring to Adam Miller. Stan T.O., what's good, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. So when Adam Miller starts every game as a freshman in the Big Ten for a Big Ten championship team, I believe he averaged just shy of 10 points per game. He set the freshman scoring record in the first game of the season. I think you guys remember, I believe he had 28, right? How can, and by the way, he was first team all Big Ten, right? First team all freshman, Big Ten. First team all freshman, Big Ten, started every game, has the freshman scoring record in Illinois. And you transfer, and Io DeSumo goes pro, and you transfer, you're supposed to step in and be the man. Now, Andre Corbello had a lot to do with that. But here's my point. If you're an in-state kid and you go to the state school, right, and you have adults that are so short-sighted that they're telling you this isn't the situation for you. That's bullshit. I'm sorry to curse, but I had to put an emphasis on that. That's straight BS because it's so short-sighted. Here's what I mean. Adam Miller is originally from Peoria, Illinois. You can't get more Illinois than that. Then he goes to Chicago to get more exposure, which was a great move. He was a top 50 player. Great move. I'm not knocking the move. You're an Illinois kid. You come to Illinois, you have an outstanding career. You don't have to be on a Final Four team. You don't have to be on a Big Ten championship team. Mary Belka, thanks for joining. You don't have to be on any of these things. But if you wore this jersey right here, this Illinois jersey, if you had the benefit, the privilege of wearing this jersey, you conduct yourself the right way and you represent the University of Illinois while you're wearing this jersey, you are set for life if you want to come back home. Now, if you want to go somewhere else, it might not be as easy. But you know what? The University of Illinois has the second largest alumni association in the world, behind Penn State. Illinois number 2 in the world in terms of alumni association. Do you think I could go anywhere in the world and not find an Illini doing something well? So the short-sightedness, I don't think this is Adam Miller, ladies and gentlemen, because I wanted to transfer from Illinois when I was there. That was 30-something years ago. Lou Henson reamed me out, blamed me for losing the Purdue game. My ass was out of there. I was gone. This was the Final Four season. But my father, you all know how much I revere my father, Dr. Harold Bardo, said, calm down. You may be emotional right now. Let me go talk to Coach Henson. So my dad went and had a conversation with Coach Henson. My dad shared some things that he didn't like. Coach Henson, I'm sure, shared some things he didn't like. But guess what? 2 adults were able to sit down and either agree to disagree, or they came to a consensus in how they're going to move forward, right? Because my dad knew that if I'm going to be in the state of Illinois, it's a huge mistake to leave the University of Illinois. It's a huge mistake. I didn't start every game as a freshman. I started halfway through my freshman year, throughout my career. I didn't start game 1. I wasn't all freshman Big Ten. I didn't have these things. And this dude leaves? I get, if Io came back, I get it. I get it. But that's not Adam Miller. That's not solely his decision. Those are the adults around him who are so short-sighted. It pains me because you're looking at the next 10 years when you need to be looking at the next 40. Because this school right here, I don't care what you all say. If you get a degree from the University of Illinois, you are as well prepared and set up for adult life and figuring out your career as any of these. I'll put Michigan up here. I'll put Wisconsin, Maryland, any Big Ten, Northwestern, any Big Ten school. I'm sorry. Illinois will prepare you as well as any of them. And if you are from the state of Illinois and you want to reside in the state of Illinois after you finish playing, then it's a no-brainer. So don't fault Adam Miller for this decision. These are the adults or the lack thereof, and I hope some of them are watching. If you all know some of Adam Miller's people, please send them this. I will tell this in their face. Y'all know I don't care because I know what the hell I'm talking about. It's a huge mistake. Now, there are talks that he may be coming back. It may be a situation where there might be some miscommunication. He maybe wasn't being coddled enough. Maybe they didn't give him enough milk bottles in his mouth. I don't know. But it's a bonehead ass decision that should not be made. So I hope that Brad Underwood and the staff are not to the point where you get really tired of dealing with the player and you move on. Let's hope that didn't happen, because I keep hearing, things that, well, now they're talking, he might come back or whatever. Whatever it is. Gailey Tucker, good to see you. Big Daddy Bates, what's happening? Good to see you. So I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little emotional there because I hate to see players make dumbass decisions. I hate to see players have so-called adults in their circle influencing them to make dumbass decisions. That's a bonehead decision, okay? That's my take on Adam Miller. Now, Kofi Cockburn. Kofi's not coming back. He put his name in. He wants to play professionally. So here's the thing. I want you guys to consider this. The reason I want a lot of younger people to watch this show is because they can give us different perspectives. Young people don't look at these things the same way. When Kendall Gill, Nick Anderson, Marcus Liberty, Lowell Hamilton, Irvin Small, Larry Smith, PJ Bowman, Andy Kaufman, when we were all on the team together, as we're coming to college, all of us dreamed about playing in the NBA, but that you had to master college first before you could think about really spending a lot of time thinking about the NBA, in my opinion. But today, that's not what happens. So as I'll get to Chet Holmgren in a second, the number one player in the country decides to go to Gonzaga. He's a Minneapolis kid. So was Jalen Suggs, the outstanding point guard for Gonzaga this year that was the national runner-up. He's from Minneapolis. Gonzaga has now replaced Kentucky, Duke, and Kansas as the number one destination for one-and-dones. If you think I'm lying, challenge me. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. So my point with Kofi and these guys now, why I want younger people like Jordan Ash to be a big part of what we're doing here, is because he can give a different perspective. But I have a feeling if Jordan was on this call with me, what's up, Drew Finney? Good to see you. If Jordan was on this call with me or this show, he would agree that the players coming into college now have a totally different mentality. They almost feel like college is a necessary evil. I have to take this step in order to get to where I want to go based on the way the rules are written right now. They don't look at college as the end all to be all like we did. Yeah, the NBA was there. We wanted to do it, but we wanted to dominate college first. That's not how these guys think. So when you look at a Kofi Cockburn, he sees Io go. He sees Georgie Bashanis-Vili. Georgie is going to go to Europe and be a multimillionaire because Georgie can't play in the league. I love Georgie Bashanis-Vili. He cannot play in the league. He can't finish well enough around the rim. He's not explosive enough, but he can play. As we all saw, he can play. Corey Debo was good. So if you're Kofi, Io leaves. Adam Miller unexpectedly puts his name in the transfer portal. So you think he's gone. Trent Frazier just announced that he was coming back. But for a while there, you didn't know what Trent or DeMonte Williams was going to do. So if you're Kofi Cockburn, you may benefit from another year of school, but what are you going to come back to? Yes, Andre Curbelo is there, right? Yes, Granison is there. They have some promising incoming freshmen, but that was a Big Ten championship team. And at the point when Kofi made his decision, the understanding of what the Illinois program is going to look like is up in the air. So Kofi knows that if he doesn't make the league right out, he can go overseas. He can go to the G League. There are a lot more options now. So I'm not surprised that Kofi put his name in and said that he's not coming back. Would I love to see him come back another year? Of course, because he got overshadowed by Luka Garza. Kofi Cockburn's star would be so much brighter if he did not play in the same conference as Luka Garza, and rightfully so. Luka was the man, period, right? Best big man in the country, okay? Got that. So those are my feelings on Adam Miller and big fella, Kofi Cockburn. All right, let me see. Hey, Carol Paquette, how you doing? Chef Brian X, y'all. Chef and I have been missing each other. He's been trying to get with me for a minute. Chef, y'all got to follow him on IG. because my mouth is watering as I'm talking about him. Chef Brian X is the truth, y'all. I ain't even tasted his food, but I know people that have, and I've seen what he puts out. Y'all check him out. What's up, Chef? We're going to get together because I want to get a catered situation. And maybe, here's the thing, maybe I'll have Chef cater an outing for the tribe. The people who are on here who are members of the tribe, like Carol Poquet, Stan T.O., I think Gailey Tucker might be. I know Meredith Evans, she's a tribe member. What I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hire Brian X, Chef Brian X, to hook up a catered meal for tribe members who are in the area. Even if you're in Champaign or whatever, I'll give you plenty of time to drive up to Chicago. And it's a tribe appreciation sort of deal. And I'm gonna have Chef Brian X hook up the grub. So, Chef, thank you for your patience. I'm gonna be in touch with you, bro. We're gonna make this happen. Because we've been trying to connect. I was trying to get him on America Loves Food and Sports, and if things kind of open up a little bit, I can do one with him anyway because he's a private chef. So I can go get a nice kitchen. I can bring some of my people, and Chef can hook it up, and we can do a whole episode around that. So that's what we're gonna do. So, Chef, your patience has been greatly appreciated, but we're gonna make that happen. Lawrence Goggins, what's good, brother? Good to see you. Jill Brown Smith, ILL. I agree. If the rumors are true about the parents' stories involvement, I feel sorry for the kids getting put through this. Jill, you'd be surprised how often this happens. And so what happens typically, the media will say Adam Miller leaves Illinois. He puts his name in the transfer portal. But obviously we don't know what's behind it. Right? A lot of these kids, especially black kids, African-American players, have different pressures that a lot of people aren't privy to. They don't go around and wear it on their sleeve, or they don't talk about how poor their family is, but they've got pressure. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them have pressure from adults in their family to provide or produce. And a lot of times, Jill, there's tremendous backstories to all of it because each and every one of you all, including me on here, we all have a great story. There are aspects of our background and our story that would fascinate people that you think is mundane. So whenever you see an 18-year-old, 19, 20, 21, and they make a decision that seems weird, don't be a fan. Get out of your fandom. Because what happens when you're a fan, it clouds your judgment. You forget that these guys are 18, 19, 20 years old. Take the fan hat off and sit there and think about, is this kid making this decision, or are there adults making it or influencing him to make it for him? It happens all the time. B Houston 34. If you want to be a tribe member, text me to 312-847-2739, or go to Facebook, go to Bardo's Breakdown group. There's a Bardo's Breakdown page, which this show is based on. The Bardo's Breakdown group is something different. You answer 3 questions, you're in. That's it. You got 2 ways to do it. Joy Glover. What's up, Joy? She is a Terrapin. So let me do this for Joy. Got to show Joy some love. See, Joy, I got your people up here, baby. I got your people. Terrence 1225. Is that my boy Littlefield? Is that Terrence Littlefield, Coach Littlefield? So I got you, Joy. But yeah, Jill. So I hope that answers your question. But thank you for that. Dory Melman, Pets Rio. I think I said that right. Dory Melman, Pets Rio, tribe member. Diehard Illini fan. I agree, Stephen. He had big opportunities in front of him at U of I. And Dory, I hope he doesn't blow it. That's the one good thing about college, typically, is that when young people make decisions, that may not be in their best interest, hopefully the adults in that program will give them a second chance, right? Joy says Turk for life. I know that's right, even though she's Chicago late. Aren't you from Chicago, Joy? You sure act like it. And everybody in the city knows who Joy is. That's why B. Houston just put that heart sign up. Everybody knows who Joy is. Are you a Chicago native, Joy? Let me know, please. I need to know because I don't know. Just giving you a hard time. Mike Waldboozer, what's going on, man? Yes, thank you. You see, Mike said it best. Illini Nation remembers their own. So who is not going to be proud of a young person, woman or man, ladies basketball player, men's basketball player, doesn't matter, that they come, they play their heart out, they play hard, they give it their all, they conduct themselves well, and they represent the school in a certain way? That's gold. That is gold. That's a form of payment right there. If you go to a program as prestigious as any of these Big Ten programs, any of them, and you do the right thing, Mike Waldboozer said it. Turk Joy is a Terrapin. She's Southside, she's Chi-Town, but she went to Maryland. She's Turk for life. That stuff is serious. And at 18 to 20, you don't understand that. And so that's what's going on here. Hey, Don Green, tribe member, good to see you. I love how Illini Nation has you to represent the school. You know what you're talking about inside and out, not only athletics, but more importantly, life. Carol, thank you. Carol Carol and Don Green and Michael Payne are probably the best tribe members. Meredith Evans is in there. I've got some tremendous teammates. And Carol and Don Green are two of the best teammates that I have. Seriously. They are the truth. So thank you, Carol, for your words. I don't take that lightly. So thank you. Lawrence Goggins was good. Dory says, love Trent coming back. Why not get Masters on Schoolie? Look, Dory's on fire today, ladies and gentlemen, because let me let you in on something. Illini fans know this, but maybe Big Ten fans and college basketball fans don't know this. Trent Frazier is from Florida. Trent Frazier is the first person in his family to go to college. So in the process of him coming from Florida to Champaign and being involved, what's up, Al and Pal's show? Good to see you, Al. Trent came from Florida. Family background with no college experience. Trent comes to Champaign, is on some early teams that were not very good, but he was good. And he dedicated himself to the process to where now he supposedly finished his career as a Big Ten champion. But he understands, yes, I can go make some money somewhere. I don't think Trent Frazier is an NBA player. I think Trent Frazier knows he's not an NBA player, but he can make money playing basketball. But what better way, like Dory just broke down, play another year, get your master's for free, then go play. So you got a master's and you can go make money. And you're the first from your family to go to college. See, to me, Dory, that's the statement of the day right there. I need to pin that. Because why not let the school pay for your master's? You're hooping. I mean, it looked like Illinois had some fun this year, especially when they won the Big Ten championship, Big Ten tournament championship. Looked like they had fun this year. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer, Dory, but thank you for that. That's spot on. What's up, Jeff? Been missing your show, Bardo. Glad to hear your passion back. Passion again. Jeff, you know what? I had to go to Mexico and get some sun and some relaxation. And you guys won't believe that I'm day 2 of a 3-day fast. So I'm fasting right now. And the only thing I'm drinking is water and this lemon juice, cayenne pepper, grade A maple syrup, and water, spring water. And you just make kind of a lemonade out of it. These are only 2 things I drink for 3 days. That's why you see in the passion. I had to go recharge my batteries. I was a little worn down. I needed some vitamin D. I got that. I ate great. Worked out 4 to 5 days. Worked out so hard, my knee is still swollen. Trying to get it back. So that's what you're hearing. It's day 2 of the fast. Day 2, I get a lot of energy. Day 1 and 3 are very difficult. Day 2, I get a lot of energy. Tonight will be a little difficult, but right during the day and day 2, man, listen, I'm on fire. So thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that, man. Kenyatta Harris. Wait a minute. Talking that real, Steve. Keep it up. Truth is rare these days. Oh my God, Kenyatta, bro. Me and my best friend Don Darden had a 2-hour conversation about truth today, and the fact that we live in a society that doesn't want the truth. I'll argue any of you up and down all day long. We live in a society that does not want the truth. On the 90% of the time, this society does not want to hear the truth. If it did, will we still be having these policing issues around communities of color? So y'all on fire today, boy. I shouldn't have left y'all so long. Y'all are on fire. Mr. K. Harris, what's good? Braden 44, Poppy in Jai, I think that's how you pronounce that. Man, I got some new folks on here. Sarah Mansari.se, what's good? If it's your first time, welcome. Thanks for joining. Illinois 22. I can't see who that is, but Illinois 22, thanks for jumping on. Is there hope for my beloved Golden Gophers? Eventually, yes. Here's why. Ben Johnson is a capable coach. He's a native of the area. Minneapolis is one of the more talent-rich areas in the country, as referenced by the last 2 players that were number 1 in the country that went to Gonzaga. I don't know that Jalen Suggs maybe was the number 1 ranked, but he was definitely top 5. So Ben Johnson understands this. This is one of the reasons why he got the Minnesota job. Pitino did a pretty good job of keeping talent home, but he couldn't get the elite. He couldn't get the 5-star guys to stay. He did a pretty good job. He got Amir Coffey, Jarvis Omersa, who's now transferring, was a homegrown talent. Why am I drawing a blank? Richard Pitino did a pretty good job of getting homegrown talent, but Minnesota, in order to elevate their program, they've got to get the talent out of their city, out of their area, out of their state. They cannot allow it to leave, because the University of Wisconsin, for the last 20 years, has built their basketball program on Minnesota kids. Some of the best players in Wisconsin basketball program history in the last 2 decades are from the state of Minnesota. So if Minnesota can feed Gonzaga, Duke, it's a who's who of the colleges and universities. The players from, I'll go all the way back to Khalid El-Amin, who was from the Twin Cities area that started UConn. I mean, there's been talent coming out of Minneapolis for a long time. So Ben Johnson is the right coach for that scenario. So Onion Dude, I think you should hang in there a little bit. Don't be discouraged. I think you're going to like what you see. Now, next year could be a struggle. Gabe Kalsher left. He's at Iowa State. Where did Liam Robbins go? I know Liam Robbins transferred, the very talented 7-footer. I don't know where he ended up. So, yeah, but Keep the faith, bro. It might not be good this year, but keep the faith. Ben Johnson's the right hire. Braden 44 asked me a really good question. What are your thoughts on CJ Frederick transferring? Now, this is interesting because I know CJ Frederick's uncle, Joe Frederick, who's very instrumental in what CJ's doing. All right. Oh, okay. Braden said Robbins went to Vanderbilt. Wow. Now think about that. Liam Robbins goes from Drake in the Missouri Valley, where he was pretty good. He got to the Big Ten, and he was one of the better bigs in the Big Ten, who had the best collection of big men in the country, in my opinion. And then he's gonna finish his career in the SEC, but not just the SEC, at Vanderbilt. Remember earlier? Why not have University of Illinois pay for Trent Frazier's master's? Well, guess what Liam Robbins is going to get? He's going to get a master's from Vanderbilt. That's pretty impressive. Braden, thank you for that. My thoughts on CJ Frederick transferring. See, for those that may not know, CJ Frederick, outstanding guard for Iowa. He's been often injured, which has that's really the only negative about his game, because CJ can score it. He can play make. He seems like a good teammate because his teammates seem to love him. He's a good dude because I talk to him all the time. Not all the time, but I try to take some time to get a couple minutes with him every time I call an Iowa game because I like the young man. I like his game. I like everything about it. Him transferring, that was interesting. He is I believe CJ is from the Cincinnati area. And sometimes if you get into a scenario where you're often injured and you just can't find your way, sometimes young people think it might be better to have another opportunity elsewhere, right? It may not be anything to do with his relationship with Fran McCaffrey, the head coach at Iowa. It might be a situation where he just needs a fresh start. He just mentally, he might need a fresh start. That might be what it is. I don't have enough information on that particular one, Braden. I apologize. I wish I did. But I kind of was like, wow, that's interesting. So great question on that. Thank you. Oh, Dan, Allied Forces. What's up, Dan? Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Mary Gertzmeyer says, with all the changes in the Big Ten losing players from this year due to graduation / NBA draft / I'll add another / transfer rule, how strong do you think the Big Ten will be and which teams will be on top? Mary, it's so early right now in the process. I know, we're in April. A lot of things will start to solidify in June. But if I'm a betting man and I look at the landscape of the teams that are going to be good, Michigan is going to be up there because Juwan Howard has the #1 recruiting class in the country coming in. So he'll lose Franz Wagner to the draft. Shondy Brown Jr. May come back, may leave. But Michigan's core group, I think will, the guys that have remaining eligibility, for the most part, I think it will stay intact. I believe Eli Brooks said he's going to take that extra year of eligibility. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a blurb in there that he was going to take that extra year. So Michigan will be very, very good. The teams that haven't had a lot of movement. Indiana's going to be good. Mike Woodson has done a really good job of convincing Race Thompson, Christian Lander, and there was one more. There was another player that was trying to leave, but was convinced to stay at Indiana. So Indiana could be pretty good. I was really sorry to see Armand Franklin leave Indiana. I really like his game. I loved covering him. I thought he was great for Indiana basketball. Indianapolis kid. He's in Virginia. Can't knock that decision. Virginia has been upper echelon of the ACC since Tony Bennett got there. National championship recently. He can get in the ACC and have a different experience. And Virginia is an outstanding academic institution. So, Mary, it's still kind of early to pinpoint exactly the teams that will be at the top of the Big Ten because there's still a lot of movement left to take place. But Michigan, I'm confident will be upper echelon. Michigan State, because they got a point guard out of Northeastern, and Rocket Watts left. He put his name in the transfer portal. So the issues that Michigan State had around the point guard position will be shored up this year by that transfer coming in from Northeastern. I don't know his name, but he put up big numbers. So I think that Michigan State, Joey Hauser, like Franz Wagner, probably needs some therapy. I thought Joey Hauser was going to be an impact player for Michigan State. Something mentally happened. He lost his confidence, and he was a shell of himself. Hopefully in the offseason, he can do whatever he needs to do to get that confidence back, because he was super tentative towards the end of the year, unlike any other time I've ever seen him in his career. I saw him play a couple times in high school. I saw him play extensively his freshman year at Marquette. This kid is a pro. But mentally, something was off. So Michigan State will probably be there. Let me see. I got you, Big Daddy Bates. Hold on. I'm going to answer that in a second. Hold on. Don Green says, so many kids are going to 3 or 4 high schools playing in order to get the scholarship. The focus when they go to college is not about the degree they can potentially get. Agree. Totally agree. It's all about getting to the NBA or making money playing basketball, in my opinion. Well said, Don. Stacy Goodson, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. I need a ride from the train station for Chef's meal. Jeff Jarvis, I'm telling you, you are. Oh, I showed the visor and the t-shirt you sent me. But Chef Brian X he throws down. He is really, really good. Oh, this is interesting. Carol Pope Paquette says, last night Ace was live. Adam Miller was live on Instagram. He was telling the viewers to basically guess where he is going. A couple of times wanted to give hints. Think he was just having fun. Said probably announce where he is going. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope there's some young people listening. Young people need coddling. Young people need support. Young people need reassurance, affirmation, all these different things. We all needed it to a certain degree. We all needed it, some more than others. But Adam Miller might be one of these kids that, with the emergence of Andre Corbello and the fact that some of the time Adam Miller wasn't in at the end of the game, I know that didn't sit well with him. So he might be a guy that need to put his name in the transfer portal to have the Illini Nation light up and be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? To feed that. I'm reaching here. I don't know. I'm just saying, based on Dawn Green, her comment, that might be what this is. Or I'm sorry, Carol's comment. That might be what this is, Carol, because I follow Ace and I see him pop up a lot, him going live. To me, it's a dopamine hit. And this happens for all of us. When we get attention or whatever, it's a dopamine hit. And our kids are dopamine fiends because they grew up with these. Not their fault. It's just reality. It's the truth. Kenyatta, it's the truth. They're dopamine fiends. Addicted to dopamine. He might need that. So We'll see what happens. Kevin White, how many of the transfers are coach-led, meaning the coach basically telling the student athlete that they may not be a good fit anymore? Kevin White, great question. My answer to that is more often than we're led to believe. Because again, typically media, local, regional, and national media that cover college basketball, they protect coaches. That's not going to sit well with some people. So what? It's the truth. Media protects coaches. You know why? Because the media that is covering most of these teams look like the coaches. Y'all see what I'm getting at? But the players, the people who are covering the sport, don't necessarily look like the players. Does that make sense? So even if a guy, like say I'm a beat reporter for the Fighting Illini, and even if I know that, let's say, for example, let's take Frank Williams. Let's go back and say I'm covering University of Illinois radio during the time that Bill Self was head coach and Frank Williams was a Big Ten Player of the Year. And Frank has an opportunity to come back, but he has worn out the coaching staff to the point they can't take it anymore. So they tell him to bounce. Like, dude, your headache needs to be somewhere else. We're too tired of it. Kevin, that happens a lot more often than we're led to believe because the media has their own agenda. They can't go too hard at this coach because then they can't get what they need to get out of the coach to do their job. Does that make sense? That was a long answer to your question, but I wanted to give a little bit of perspective on that. But great question. Man, you guys are on fire. I missed y'all. I did. I missed y'all. Yeah, we all do, Don. Don Green says, I have a great story. Look, if the Creator blessed you to be on earth and they used your parents as the vessel, you got a great story because you're human. God made you. That means you're great. All of us. Some of us fall astray and we do illegal things or hurtful things or whatever. But we're all God's creation, in my opinion. So we all have great stories and great things about us. So Don Green, you do have a good story because you're God's. You're one of God's children. With Kofi, I was surprised it took him this long to put his name in the draft. I think he is testing the waters and will pull on the orange and blue uni. I thought I read. Now, I don't like to disagree with Carol because Carol's on her stuff. Did I not read that he's hired an agent? Did I read that wrong, Carol? I hope I did. I thought he went on and hired an agent and he's like, my time in Champaign is done. I'm moving on. Now, Carol would know, but hook me up, Carol. Let me know. Am I off in that thinking? Adam Randall Singer, thanks for joining. Mr. J Travels was good. Brian K. Hurd. So Big Daddy Bates has a question. What are your thoughts on Mike Woodson in Indiana for next year? I kind of hinted at it a little bit, Big Daddy. I think Mike Woodson's done a heck of a job. But this is what I'm going to give Scott Dixon, athletic director at Indiana, big props, huge props. Because here's what he did. He brought Mike Woodson in, 25 years experience coaching the NBA. If you're Indiana, although your program has not been elite in blue blood, the expectations are there that they should be. So Scott Dolson understands that if Indiana is going to return to a consistent elite level, Indiana fans don't care about, you get a championship. Okay, that's great. Love you to death. But what about next year? That's how Indiana fans are. Scott Dolson knows this. So when you bring in Mike Woodson, one of the greatest Indiana Hoosiers ever to ever put on the uniform, So the older fan base in Indiana loves it. 25 years coaching the NBA. So if there's top talent coming out of the state of Indiana, you don't think they're going to look at Indiana now? They were looking at Indiana under Archie Miller. And Archie Miller did not have the success that Indiana fans would want that program to have. And yet, he was able to get Trace Jackson Davis, Romeo Langford, Rob Finney, Armand Franklin, Christian Lander, what's the kid? The guard I really like, the freshman guard. It'll come to me in a second. I'm thinking of Geronimo, but that's not who it is. Archie Miller was able to lock down the state for the most part. The best talent went to Indiana. Guess what's going to happen? Mike's going to get state's best talent, but he's also going to be able to attract national talent like Tom Crean did to get Victor Oladipo to come from the DMV to Bloomington, Indiana. How did Victor Oladipo get out of ACC country? How did that happen? Right? But Mike Woodson is going to be able to do all of these things. And Scott Dolson hired Thad Matta as associate athletic director over basketball. That's a great move. A move that to my knowledge, only Kansas, Kentucky, I think Duke has an associate athletic director specifically over basketball. I think there's not a lot of schools that do it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the reasons, Big Daddy Bates, why I think Mike Woodson is going to be successful. It's not just him, his presence, his NBA experience. That's tremendous. That really helps. But to get Thad Matta, one of the best coaches in college game, to come in as an AD, so he physically, Thad Matta, the physical toll on college basketball was really taking a toll on his body. So he can still be, now he's got a team, he's invested, he can be Mike Woodson's guy behind the scenes, and you bring Dane Fife back as an assistant. Brilliant move by Scott Dolson. Brilliant move. Because Mike Woodson needs people who know the college game. Telly Hughes, what's good, brother? Good to see you. Clux3Y, thanks for joining. Brian K. Hurd, what's up? I hope that answers your question. Those are my thoughts on Mike Woodson in Indiana next year. I think it was a great hire for a number of different reasons. Not just the fact that Mike Woodson, in and of itself, is the head coach. Lisa Terrell said, I'm still thinking about catered food. Now, how can I bring up all that food and I'm on a fast? My boy Telly Hughes knows what I'm doing. That 3-day fast, only liquid. Water and that concoction I was telling you about. I'm in day 2, so I'm on fire. If I were to do the show tomorrow, I'd look a lot different. Because the way my body works, day 1 and day 3 are rough. Day 2, man, please. I'm on fire. Don't I look good? I crack myself up sometimes. Let's Toast Media. Go Blue, Michigan. They're going to be, look, you guys have heard me say this before. Juwan Howard is not getting the credit for this recent hiring trend in college basketball. I'm sorry. There's never been an offseason where there's been this many black head coaches hired at major programs. There's never been. One of the reasons, it's not the only, but a big reason is Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard has the #1 recruiting class coming in next year. They won the Big Ten regular season championship. They may have won the Big Ten Conference Tournament Championship had Isaiah Livers not gotten injured. So they may have had a clean sweep over the Big Ten Conference. And they were air ball for Franz Wagner away from the Final Four without their best player. Juwan Howard has had an incredible impact on athletic directors around the country, understanding that if you don't get somebody that can relate to these players, that can give them hope that if they have the ability, I will help you become ready for the NBA. Remember earlier in this show, we talked about high school players don't come to college trying to represent the university necessarily. That's not their first inclination. I was so prideful. I got to turn this around because it looks crazy with my name because it's not my name. It's the University of Illinois. I took so much pride wearing this jersey. But that was then. These kids aren't worried about staying in state and doing all these different things. They're trying to find the best path for them to achieve their goal. Right? And so what athletic directors have seen is that Juwan Howard goes and gets a big Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson, literally, Joy Glover, Maryland Terrapin, literally grew up down the street from Maryland, from the University of Maryland. If Juwan Howard can go and get Hunter Dickinson and Terrence Williams from the Catholic League in D.C., he can get players anywhere in the country. So it's a unique mix of Juwan Howard being Fab Five, being a longtime NBA player, longtime NBA assistant, being at the Block M, tremendous school, great branding, one of the few college programs that's brand Jordan. All the kids are concerned with gear more than where they go to school. Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think I'm playing. So to me, Juwan Howard has ushered in an era that needed to take place 20 years ago. Now people are doing it so fast because they got to compete. Does that make sense? Okay. Gary Boyson. Personal intel and background information is such a big part of the NBA draft evaluation. Spot on, Gary. That doesn't get a ton of attention. It starts in high school, follows players throughout their careers. Keep on sharing the real facts, Bardo. Gary, thank you so much. I'm gonna expound on this. Some of my tribe members have heard me say this, but if there's others on here, you probably haven't. I had a habit. I liked 40 ounces when I was in college. I like beer, period. I'm a beer drinker, right? But in college, I like my 40 ounces. I like my Old English 800. Why? It wasn't the taste. It's because it was $1.05. I could afford it. That's it. If I could have afforded Lowenbrow at the time, old school. Who on here remembers Lowenbrow? Oh, what's up, C-Towns and TV? Good to see you, brother. Jimmy Red 65, KMW 536. What's going on, y'all? I used to love to drink my beer in college. Love my 40 ounces. $1.05 because I could afford it. Didn't like the taste. I like the buzz, right? When me and Kendall were getting drafted at the University of Illinois, pro teams put an investigator on our campus. What they would do is they would watch our behavior. Kendall Gill comes to me and says, at the time I was dating my ex-wife. She was my college sweetheart. At the time, I'm dating Leslie. Kendall says, Steven, you got to have Leslie go get your liquor. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, this dude is on campus and, they're asking questions about us. And he sees your stretch Toyota Corolla at the liquor store. He said, so have Leslie go get your liquor. So what Gary Boyson is saying is spot on. Now guys have to do intel from high school. They didn't know what I did in high school. But if they're going to invest They're going to think about investing millions in me. They're going to figure out what my habits are and can they take it or not. So what Gary's saying is spot on. The intel, and one of the reasons that NBA scouts love network so much is they have something called the journey. Those are Big Ten fans. You guys know about the journey. You all love it because, like Don Green, all of these guys have great stories. All these athletes have great stories. But what NBA scouts love so much about it is that they learn stuff that they couldn't learn on their own intel. So NBA scouts, how do I know this? Dale Demps, his son played at Northwestern. I played against Dale Demps. Dale Demps used to run the scouting department for the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't think he's still there. But this is a guy that ran the whole scouting department. He said, we love the Big Ten Network because of the journey and that intel. So if you know high school basketball players, men and women, young ladies and young men, please share this with them. That they're top 100, top 50, top 20, if they're in that range, people are going to watch very closely what they do off the court to make a decision whether they want to invest in you or not. So, man, y'all are on fire today. This has been lit. I am so happy to be back. Tubby got some of those guys, said Antonio Williams. Okay. Oh, he did. Antonio's referring to Tubby Williams up in Minnesota because he got the kid who got in trouble that had the rape charge. Trevor Mbakwe. Trevor Mbakwe was one. You're right, Antonio. Tubby did get some of those guys. Great call. And good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. We got to talk because aren't you involved with the Overtime League? You and Brandon Williams, I think. Let me know. Antonio's got his own show. Antonio, let everybody know where they can find your show. Put it in here for me, please. Put it in the comments and we'll highlight it. Antonio Williams has a great background. He's got a sports marketing background, but he's also worked with players and teams. So Antonio's got a very unique skill set that allows him to do a lot of different things in basketball and sports in general. So very talented. Brian K. Hurd, you old school Bardo, 40 ounce. Of course. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm old enough now. The statute of limitation for me being underage drinker, I think that's passed now, right? I think that's passed. So got to kick it real. Thank you, Jill, for coming on. I know you got to run. Henry Dwyer. Henry Dreyer. Hope I'm saying that right. Henry Dreyer. Thanks for all the knowledge as always, Mr. Bardo. What are your thoughts on Northwestern's outlook? Miller Kopp, Anthony Gaines transferring out, local product Elijah Williams transferring in. Any hope? Again, Henry, in terms of how rosters are going to look, they're really not going to stabilize until June, I believe, for the most part. So the fact that Miller Kopp and Anthony Gaines is a guy who, to me, if he leaves, he's a character guy, high character, high integrity, tough, not going to really score you a lot of points, not going to do a lot of playmaking. Good guy to have on your team. But if he leaves, it doesn't hurt your program. Miller Kopp leaving hurts Northwestern's program. That's a tough one. Ultra competitive kid, probably is not progressing the way that he would prefer. So he's looking for a fresh, tough break for Northwestern. But I think that Chris and his staff are busting their tail. Because here's the thing. Northwestern is about to have a new athletic director. Typically, athletic directors want their own. They want their hand-selected coaches. Chris Collins understands this. He's a smart guy. he knows that the clock is ticking for them to do something with this program, because a new athletic director is not going to have the same patience as Jim Phillips once did, right? So I think there's hope. I know Chris Collins very well. I know his dad, Coach Doug Collins, played for Doug a little bit. Me and Doug grew up in Southern Illinois. I know that family. Chris is going to bust his tail to make it work. By the way, isn't that pretty cool? Dr. Caroline Brackett. I can't even begin to tell y'all what her credentials are. She's a boss in the academic space around counseling and things of that nature. She's huge. She said she got tired of seeing my red Solo cups, so she gave me 2 tumblers with these decals on it. Isn't that cool? I got the best tribe in the world, man. I really do. I hope I'm giving you all as much value as you all give me. Seriously. I get way more value from you all you get for, but I'm trying. So any way that I can help you, or if there's something that is in my wheelhouse that you want me to talk about or go in depth on or have a show about, I am all ears. Please share it with me. But great question, Henry. Thank you. There's hope. The clock is ticking. They're going to have to really do some things here to get that program turned around, or a new athletic director might want to make a change. Looks like dude's scared of competition with recruits that's coming in. Chucky James. Now, Chucky hit on something now. There are a lot of players in the current era. There might be 5-star. They don't like you recruiting 5-star behind them in the same position. Isn't that funny? To me, bring it on. If you beat me out for the spot, then you deserve it. And I'll support you. Or I'll go somewhere else. But a lot of these guys, they don't want to do that. So that's a good point, Chucky. Great point, actually. Let me get down here a little bit. Dave Crosby, what's the chance of Kofi coming back? Carol, Dave, informed me that maybe I might be wrong. What's up, Jeff 5MC? MB43, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, what do you the new transfer rule? It's going to be movement year to year. All right, hold on, Brian. Dave Crosby, thank you for the question. Carol Poe Paquette, tribe member, shared with me that I thought I read that Kofi signed with an agent. I can't be wrong. I don't like to go against Carol. Carol knows her stuff. So the chances of him coming back should be pretty good, because today's NBA game does not favor Kofi Cockburn. He's got to develop his skill set on the perimeter a lot better if he's going to be a factor at the next level. Now, will he get drafted? Probably, because people see that upside. That big, that fast, and the amount of improvement that we've seen him have, somebody's going to take a chance on him. But the problem is not getting to the league. The problem is staying in the league. And can he do that right now? Who knows? So the chances of him coming back, to me, are pretty good. I did not know that he did not sign with an agent. If that's the case, I would say pretty good, Dave. I really would. Great point about the new Northwestern AD to be, and then potentially wanting to bring in their own hire. Yep. Because that's what happens. When athletic directors come in, unless you're doing very, very well, they typically want to have their own. So nothing new. Oh, my man Montel. What's up? M. Montel 638. Former heavyweight boxing champion in the world. See, that's why y'all need to tune in. I got friends, y'all. I got some famous friends. I'm not famous, but I got famous friends. I believe this is Montel Griffith, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Montel Griffith is a friend of mine. Huge hoop fan. You think he plays basketball right now? I don't know if that's him. Do you think Joey Brunk? No, that's not Montel. This is somebody else. Do you think Joey Brunk was the missing piece for IU this season that just finished? No. Joey would have definitely helped. Matt Montel. Thank you, Matt. Matt, Joey would have helped. To me, the personnel at Indiana just didn't seem to fit real well with what Archie Miller wanted to do. To me, Rob Finney is so talented. He was one of my favorite Big Ten players when he was a freshman. He's gotten worse every year. And so I don't think Joey Brunk was the missing piece. I think there was a situation there where the personnel, chemistry, coaching staff, the director for Archie Miller may not have been the best fit for his personnel. That's what I think. They played hard now. The Hoosiers competed. They were in so many close games throughout Archie Miller's tenure, especially this past season, that I don't think Joey Brunk was the missing piece. Matt, I think it was more of a situation where the pieces just didn't quite fit. You know what I mean? And that happens. Gary B. Gates, thanks for jumping on. Original Tribe member, Joe Stovall. With transfers at an all-time high, do you believe schools will get a GM-type position like professional teams to stay on top of all the comings and goings of players? Also, Shake 'em Up was the cheapest drink back in the day. White port and Kool-Aid. Right on, Joe. Drop that knowledge, brother. Will schools have a GM position? I think Indiana, with Scott Dolson, ushered in the era for the Big Ten schools of having an associate athletic director specifically over basketball. Not that basketball is under their realm of the 3 or 4 sports that they have to deal with. No. Specific, like Chris Woolard, the young man that I grew up with, who his father, Doug Woolard, was my high school basketball coach. Chris Woolard, right now, is the associate athletic director over basketball at Kentucky. To my knowledge, Chris Woolard doesn't deal with any other sports besides basketball. So, Joe Stovall, that will be your GM position. College programs, the ones that want to be elite in basketball, will have that GM, associate athletic director's position, specifically to deal with basketball. So I think that's what you'll see. All right, guys. I think that's it for the questions. The transfer situation. Oh, wait a minute. How we're able to get Wisconsin Players of the Year and not get the Illinois Player of the Year. Great question. Again, depending on where you are, how old you are, your thought process regarding what players should consider important does not factor in a lot of times to their decision. Matt asks, how much will IU losing Armaan Franklin? A ton. Armaan Franklin's a pro, in my opinion, Matt. I think Armaan Franklin could have been a first-team All-Big Ten player had he reached his potential at Indiana. I love Armaan Franklin's game. That's a big blow to the program. But with Dane Fife, Thad Matta, and then head coach Mike Woodson in the mix, they'll be able to overcome that. RDuff1, glad you joined. Sorry you joined late because I'm about to jump off. Got to run here. This was great, y'all. Thank you for being patient. Thanks for coming back on. I may come back later on in the week because I want to update you guys on the movement of the Big Ten players. I didn't even talk about Chet Holmgren and how the transfer rule is forcing old school coaches to retire. We'll get to that one next show. Maybe Friday. Okay? So tune back in. Thank you so much, guys. You all are awesome. No, Carol, you're awesome. All of you all are awesome for taking your time to share with me on this platform. I greatly appreciate it. I love you all. Have the great rest of your week. And peace, y'all.